It's lunchtime, and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from Studio A in the heart of Delray Gallery, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free at 888-565-1470 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a very hectic Monday morning.
It's not even hectic. It's just technology is all I can tell you is what it is.
All I can tell you is don't touch the cameras.
Do you know all I did was change the angle and we lost the camera?
Yep, and it's gone because I can't get it back. We got to go to camera B.
Good thing we got camera B is all I can tell you.
Yeah, but after the show, I got to fix it.
So fix it. And I was really trying so hard not to tag today as a crazy, manic, any kind of Monday. I went magnificent, marvelous, but yeah, still Mondays are Mondays is all I can tell you.
All I can tell you is, I hate technology sometimes.
You hate technology.
I do.
It is the bread and, actually I can't even say that's the bread and butter of what we do. It's really just the vehicle for what we do. What we do is a whole lot more. It's all about hope and purpose, and I know, do you know, this weekend I was at my mom. She came home from the hospital. I know someone in my family is always in the hospital.
How's she doing?
She's doing great. And off air, I'll tell you what the whole visual was when we got there. But sometimes when I talk about all of the things that I believe in, when it actually comes out of my mouth, I think, what are people thinking? Are they thinking like, does this woman really believe in hope and changing energy? Because when I say it, I think, what is the people receiving that on the other end? Because to me, in our space, it's perfectly normal. But in the outside world, maybe not so much.
What are you talking about? Lord have mercy.
I was talking this weekend about shifting energy, and when you really have the intent to shift energy, then the energy shifts. If you say it and you don't have that intent, it doesn't change. You
Captain,
have to have
do me a
the
favor.
intent.
Go to that camera and angle it. I don't know what she's talking about. You just keep talking
What's wrong with the angle?
My head is out. I'm to the left, not to
Then
the
it
right.
doesn't have the intent. You know what I'm saying?
I have no clue of what you're talking about. Intent of what? Intent. What intent?
I think you can't change energies unless you truly have the intent. You can't make something happen just by saying it. You have to truly feel it in your heart.
So you can't manifest something.
Unless
you have to
believe
catch
it.
up.
You have to do it yourself. You have to believe in it. You have to make the step forward to it and make the change.
And if you don't
can't
do
just
that,
stand there and say, change me.
Right. You can't say change me. You can't say bring in goodness and then without the intent and taking those next steps. I mean, God's all there for you, but you have to make the efforts, right?
And then out. Right. And you have to make the effort.
So anyway, that was my weekend. But I'm excited. We have a new coffee machine in the cafe.
yes, I try to surprise Dawn.
But you were
And
late
she got
getting
here before I got to the surprise.
You got to be more on time.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. But we got a new coffee machine. And in that coffee machine, you can advertise.
You can advertise. And Hector, I was actually thinking of you because in that coffee machine, we have hot chocolate.
We do?
We do. We've got hot chocolate. We've got cappuccino capabilities. We have our coffee. So thank you to Jeff Greenberg for providing the coffee machine for us. A lot of going on. We have a new... He's just not in a good way today. Have you noticed, Brooke?
It's Monday.
Ouch.
It's still part of his Sunday.
Ouch.
But I'm excited. I really need to reach out to our longtime friend, Paul Vadiato, because I have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to share with him. So, Paul, I'm hoping that everything's getting better and life is getting back on track because we have a really big opportunity. We want to bring you in on board. How do you like that? But I'm bummed.
Oh, you're talking about the gentleman?
Captain Steubing, yes.
I gotta tell you, I've been here since 9:30, and I haven't been able to talk to Dawn because there was a meeting.
In the parking lot.
You had a meeting in the parking lot with Tracy. I've been trying to fix the cameras in the place. DJ Ortiz over there was hanging curtains or doing something. I don't even know what the hell he's doing. Hector was doing wires. This has just been, and I just hit my knee now. I'm in agony of the leg.
But I'm really excited because we're working with the Reboot, Reset, Relax, Restore Wellness Cruise.
I need it.
And this cruise is spectacular, but right now you book it through the Reboot Cruise, but they don't have a specialized travel agent. So I would like to bring in.
Oh, they're working with the travel agent.
They're working with them, but I'd like to bring in our travel agent for future cruises. Future cruises is all I can tell you.
Okay.
It's like my dad just bought a new bed for my old bedroom, and he said, "I bought a crouton." I go, "Really, Dad? That's what goes on your salad."
That's on your salad. Isn't it called a crouton?
Futon.
It's like I just said, a cruise, a futon. Yes.
A
Captain brought all the cards.
Yeah, Ivan's.
Where's he going?
Ivan Rosa.
Where's Ivan going?
He has an appointment, but he's very interested.
So why is he leaving? Will he bring me a cup of water? Where's he going? Ivan.
Ivan, he doesn't want you to.
Tiffany's funny because
gotta go.
every day Tiffany brings in another guest, and they come, they look, they leave. Where do you need a mic? Where do you find all these people?
He'll be.
You need a mic.
He has an
First of all, what does Ivan do?
R squared investments.
Oh,
Small business investments.
Small
R
bus-
squared.
I needed to talk to him. Also, I got another.
I know you do.
I got
And
some
he has-
people that want to talk to you today with the vets and everything. We got so much work for
Siegel,
you.
the Siegel brothers.
Yeah, somebody else.
No, not the
Oh.
Siegel brothers.
Is this working?
Yes, it's working.
We got a lot of people to talk to you that want to talk to you.
Well, we're ready to go, right?
And I
mean-
saw Operation 120 do the ribbon cutting last week. I
Would you
missed that.
do me a
but-
favor and put that mic down and come and sit over here because you're hurting my neck over here. If Ramona shows up, I'll put her over
Is
there.
Ramona coming?
No.
No.
And then you go.
Ramona
So,
said she was going to text you.
Okay.
tell her not to text me because she's the one that picked today. I told her not Monday because you're
She's
not
a
going to
bad
Mondays.
girl, and I already told her.
I
And
heard you
said,
listening to
"Boo-hoo."
her.
I said to her, Ramona, Mondays is not good for you. Why are you picking Mondays? Oh, no, it's good for me. Okay. And there you have it.
Well, we've got Brooke, and we're going to go by Deirdre. But let's just go with Skin Fusion Studios with us. Brooke joined us, and we were at Ramona's when we were on the road.
That's why she looks familiar.
Remember you pulled her driver's license?
Oh, yeah.
You did.
This is the same woman?
This is the same woman.
She
She
looks
still
younger
hasn't
today.
aged. I know.
What
I
the
know.
hell,
She
man?
doesn't age, this woman.
What do you drink?
Water.
All day?
Well, yes, water all day, and then of course my addiction is coffee. I love coffee.
You know, that's really surprising because they tell me that coffee makes you age. It doesn't,
It dehydrates you, and it really does. But what I do is that's like this much coffee and then a whole lot of almond milk.
Yeah,
Or
she put a lot of
something.
almond
So
milk in it.
it's like having water and 10 parts water, 1 part cranberry juice. Just a little something.
it's like a little bit of cranberry and a lot of vodka.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm really
Exactly.
glad Brooke is here because, Brooke, when you were on the show, when we did the last show at Ramona's, people have been calling me and texting me how beautiful you are and how magnificent your skin is, and they want to come see you.
Well, that's
So I really wanted to bring her back.
People wanted
because,
to date her. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you and your dating thing.
People are writing to me. I know a lot of misfits.
But everyone is talking, so I'm very lucky that I get to actually
And
go
you know, you were
get
telling
a
me she
facial
was going to
on
be on
Wednesday
it.
with
I
Brooke.
couldn't. I'm like, what are you talking about? Take it easy.
She's
Not
a-
on the air. Just relax. Breathe
But
deep.
I get to actually go on Wednesday and experience everything I've heard about. So I'm excited to
Where are
try
you going
out
Wednesday?
to Brooks to get a facial.
she's going to be with me
Really?
on Wednesday
I know, don't you
afternoon.
wish you could have my life after studio?
Where is your studio located?
It's 9045 La Fontana Boulevard, Boca Raton, on the 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
I call it my little heaven on earth, nestled in a sweet section on the 2nd floor on the west side of the building.
How long you been there?
About 3 years.
Oh, really? You're no
Yeah.
rookie.
And I say, yeah. I've traveled around.
So let me ask you. I was just explained that having the body alkaline.
Right, you want pH balance, your body's to be balanced, not so much on the alkalinity, not so much on
But the
acidic.
alkalinity is what they want. Okay,
They
there's a
want
difference
neutral.
between alkaline and acidity.
Right.
And they want my system to be alkaline because it increases healing.
Mm-hmm.
And for a diabetic, it will assume, and I'm asking you because you're a pro, it will take away neuropathy over time.
It will help you with that. It should. I mean, my aspect is for the skin. That, though, for the alkalinity, yes, I do believe that.
Does it work for the skin?
It helps with the skin. It helps to neutralize and bring the pH
It
back.
works with everything.
And anything, because inflammation begins here in the mouth. Inflammation because of the foods that we eat that actually are then digested and then placed into different sections of our body to nourish the cells. The water
This woman
also
doesn't
plays
have
an
a wrinkle.
important
Not a
part.
wrinkle.
I am
Some
amazed
punches.
here. I'm sorry to stare. I'm just like amazed. What do you eat?
I've got a little list right here with my scribble on it. And these are just some of the foods that I recommend just right now for the season because of the stress. Salmon, because of the omega-3 fatty acids. It helps to combat inflammation, where the inflammation can break down the collagen and the elastin in the body. So the salmon and the omega-3s helps with that. And of course, if you can, dark chocolate. Some people cannot. They tell me that they can't eat
Why the dark chocolate?
Well, because it has the cocoflavonoids, and the cocoflavonoids are help to fight the free radicals and also increase circulation in the body, which brings in oxygen.
Okay, there's more to what you look like than salmon and dark chocolate. I
What?
eat a lot of dark chocolate, I can tell you. My skin doesn't look like yours. But I want everyone to understand, Brooke does facials and she does treatments in Boca, but you
I
have
do.
never had an injection in your face.
I was
No.
going to ask you,
And
is that
that's
proper
not
to ask?
had-
You know, people look at you and they're going, yeah, you know, the plastic surgeons, but you haven't, and that's what's so unbelievable.
No, I haven't had an
You've never
injection.
had a doctor touch you?
I've had doctors who want to. I've had doctors where I go to seminars and I like to go up to the guest speaker. I like to ask questions. And I've had one doctor grab me by my chin and go to the right and go to the left. And he said to me, well, you had your nose done. I go, no, I didn't. He goes, well, you had collagen done. I go, no, I have not had collagen. He goes,
You had
"You did?"
nothing done?
No, and no surgeries.
Ever?
My hair is here, but there's nothing here. I mean, not to say I will never have it. I'm saving for later
Yeah, but you
on.
haven't had it.
No.
It's freaking
That's
amazing.
to say-
can we
not
tell
to say I won't.
Can
You
we
can
tell
check my
everyone how
ears.
old you are? Has it been
No,
your birthday
don't,
yet?
please, no, don't say anything.
She's a little older than me and
Than
Freddie.
me. She's older than me.
She's older than both of us, yeah.
And if you don't know how old I am, too bad. But this is just an amazement. I mean, you're like in the world's record book.
That's what one of the doctors at the seminar that I met had said to me. You're like in the 1%. He goes, my wife at 35 doesn't even have your skin.
Absolutely spectacular your skin
Does
is.
not. And I really do. I have, and I use my own products because I know the lab, I know the facility, I know the cleanliness of it. I have certain vitamin C that I use that's my staple. I have my own moisturizer that I use, the cleanser, and I go through certain protocols for people because a lot take their hands, they wash their face, and they think they're doing that, but what they're doing is smearing everything instead
With
of
the
using
soaps?
instead of using a washcloth.
I was going to ask you about that.
But first, warm your skin. I believe, like when I do, when someone's in my room, I treat the skin first. I prepare the skin. I prep it. There's 3 processes that I do even before I have someone under the mirror, the light. 3 processes
Before you get there.
before I even say, okay, now let me take a look and do the assessment.
And then it's scary. I'm already agitated thinking what she's going to think when she sees my face under the
No,
mirror
you're
without anything
you're
else
not bad,
on it.
but you know, I mean,
Beautiful.
Thanks. You're not so
No,
bad.
no,
she-
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
I
When
mean,
you think about what's under the layers in
Telomere.
the skin,
Oh, is it possible, there's a telomere, not just a DNA test, there's a telomere test. If you, the telomeres are at the end of the chromosome, and that's your aging mark.
When I'm talking about mirrors, I'm talking about, though,
Oh, no, I'm saying
Oh,
I would
okay.
like to have your telomere tested.
Oh, you want, okay.
And compare it to mine.
probably she doesn't have any.
Because I'll bet it's longer, its length. It depends on its length off the chromosome.
Oh, so you don't think also to the hereditary part, for sure, like you're mentioning.
Whatever you've done to keep yourself
But also
with the
to keep myself,
flavonoids,
yeah.
Yeah, it would show
That
in the
vitamins.
telomere length. It should
Oh,
be long.
good.
It'd be longer than, say, mine,
Oh
because
my
I don't
gosh,
have that.
well,
skin.
yeah, let's
Now-
get this thing tested.
Now hold on. I got.
I'll
I
show
got.
Dr.
I'm very
Silver.
curious. I got to
Okay,
ask a few
do it.
questions. Number one, you're married.
Yes.
How long have you been married?
38 years.
Okay. Now that in itself would create a wrinkle, right? This woman has no wrinkles. I mean, none.
None.
So, no stress.
Oh yeah, but I'm like, whatever. I'm really, I'm
and I have
like,
to tell you, she was on the phone with someone else that was supposed to be here as a guest with you. And the person isn't coming. And she says, you know, I really think you should just call and tell Dawn and Freddie that you're not coming. It's the right thing to do. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, you're a therapist also. In your spare time, telling this woman, you should at least let them know that you're not coming.
yeah, just
Well, but there's a whole.
She's just completely honest and transparent with what it is.
She has no stress. But there's a whole lot going on. A whole lot going on with you because the skin, which is the biggest organ on our body, is a reflection of your lifestyle, right? If you smoke a lot of cigarettes, if you drink a lot, the nose, that whole thing. I'm just saying.
Don't. It's so funny. I don't. And I do have stress and stuff, but it's so funny because my front door, I have a enclosed patio front door, so lanai, whatever you want to call it. And I'll turn the lights out, and I'll just use the street lights, and I'll just breathe and do yoga out there in the
Sounds
front
like you,
door.
Captain.
What?
It sounds like you, just doing yoga wherever.
I tried, but I can't do it on the camera.
No, you can't. The other thing is, remember Les, when he was doing the show with us, he used to take, Dr. Pinozo told him, take a towel and rub it as hard as you could without hurting yourself for the
Where?
skin on your face.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to tell you, all kidding aside, Les started looking younger.
Really?
Yes. And his wrinkles started to evaporate or something. I don't know what the hell he was doing. He was stretching the skin. But it was this towel thing. He just rub it. And Les
He
used
was
to-
bringing circulation, blood flow to the surface.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So we should
But
just
it's
beat
an
ourselves up?
every day, every 15 minutes you start beating yourself up. It's like some of us punching,
You know,
punching,
you
punching,
think about
punching.
that, but you can't reuse the washcloth you use.
No, you can't.
It means
That's
a lot
another
more
thing.
laundry is the other side.
What do you mean
of
you
it.
can't reuse it?
You use it once. You can't use it day after day
Why not?
because it's got bacteria and it smells funky.
It will, and
It's not wet. It's dry.
No, it holds moisture still, and then the moisture has a certain odor, and then there's dead skin cells that stay in it. It's like,
Not dry.
ugh.
You got to wet it. You can't just put
Yeah.
a dry washcloth
So let me
on
get
your
this right.
face.
You guys change your towels every
Think about
day?
it. Have to.
If it touches my face, yes.
You do this? You ever heard of this? You really?
Every day.
Really? What kind of Latino are you? Oh, you're
You
full
can't-
of
you
beans.
can't really
You're
do
so
that.
full of beans.
He's just.
Latinos don't do that. We use it
Whatever she
for.
does, I do. Whatever
You-
she does, I do.
We do this for a week.
Same
I
washcloth
watch
on your
my
face for a
husband.
week.
You don't do.
Yeah. I use the
No.
same washcloth for a week.
No. On your face?
Anywhere she wants to go.
The same one over and over again?
Pero mira qué cosa, yes.
Mira qué cosa. No. I sound like
It's a
Sandra.
Puerto
no.
Rican thing, yeah. I never heard of this. I guess I've been doing things wrong.
It just gets, don't they smell bad?
They do.
They don't
I
smell
mean,
like anything.
my husband has no idea. When he's done, and the next morning, I'm taking the lawn, taking the towel, shoot,
Really?
and I just have to put another one in there. I mean, I have a stack of washcloths, like 3, 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm constantly going through them and filtering them out,
heard of
donating them
this?
to the, animal
That is
shelter
my
and stuff.
2020
Towels.
resolution. Whatever she's doing, we
Whatever
are going
she's
to
doing.
begin doing.
Imagine looking, her skin, right? It's just so magnificent. And in Boca, you offer what kind of services? Because you too can look like Brooke, is all I can say. Or at least we can attempt.
At least you
look
could
like
try.
Brooke. Exactly.
Healthy skin. You'll have healthy, glowing, really healthy, glowing skin.
But you have a whole different take on it.
I
You
do.
just don't go
I-
for a facial.
No, I mix, I match, I blend. That's the difference. That's why it's called Skin Fusion Studio. I don't just take what one person developed and say, okay, this is our protocol. This is this, this. I go from the right to the left to the middle. I just chick, and I just see what I need to do and
It's
see
different
where
herbs?
it takes us.
You use herbs.
I use all different blends, essential oils, herbs, powders, anything. I have my own little type of grinder. I'll mash. I'll
What are
put
you
in there.
mashing?
Flowers, leaves,
Flowers?
lavenders, or anything like that. Use it natural.
Okay, so
thin,
walk me
mask.
through this. You typically you wake up in the morning. What time do you get up? Typically, what time do you wake up?
Oh, about 5:30.
Jeez Louise, I
Look
thought she was going to say
how
9
lovely
o'clock.
she is
Okay, so
I'll go for a
5:30.
jog.
Of
I'll
course you
get
do.
up.
Well, of course
I'll
you
go
do.
for a little jog.
How
I'll
long
take the
is-
dogs for a walk.
Do you do something in the morning to your face?
Well, I definitely brush my teeth first. Brush my teeth, wash my face, rinse it off, towel dry.
Camera just died, he said.
Water, lemon, and take the dogs, go for their walk, and then I go for a jog. But I haven't had coffee or anything until later when I'm done.
But that goes to the alkalinity, right?
Right, because the water and the lemon help with the alkalinity, they help reduce the acidity, they prepare my stomach, getting ready for anything that I'm going to eat, like would be a piece of toast or oatmeal or something.
Someone recommended a quarter teaspoon of baking soda in water. to help with the alkalinity versus the lemon. I mean, the lemon's great too.
The lemon will also change. The lemon is acidic, but when you put it in your system, it also changes and it helps with the alkalinity and helps to bring it up. It
More than the
purifies.
baking soda?
Yeah, because I think the baking soda is more like for an indigestion, can bring up an indigestion feeling that you don't want.
Do you use water and lemon?
I use water and lemon for
And honey? Sometimes
not
people use honey.
not to neutralize my pH, but I use warm water and lemon just to cleanse.
They
But I
also-
wanted to ask. I use vitamin E. It's an exogenous. Our body doesn't produce vitamin E, so I use it on my skin. My grandmother taught me that.
Right, it's an antioxidizing agent.
Just got to get closer to the
So
microphone.
Okay.
it's an antioxidant, so it's great for the skin, but it's also occlusive at the same time, because if you go and it's like you're tucking, it's like tacky sort of. So it's
It
not,
hides the wrinkles. It fills the wrinkles.
and it's occlusive, so that's what you want. But you want something underneath it too, because if it's going to be occlusive, you want something that's of a fluid, so that way it protects it from evaporating.
Okay.
Well, let me ask, what
I'm
makes
interested.
your services different than from some of the other places? We were talking earlier today. You said so you have friends that always had a studio within another place that kept, people have their clientele. But what makes you so unique? Because Ramona has raved about you for so long. Just looking at you, you're a walking billboard.
I don't follow typical standard or protocol. I mix. So I have written my own formulas, a proprietary mix of what to go, what to do, what to mix, what you see in categories. I mean, the book is like that thick. So if I were to train someone, they would follow that and know that they don't have to just do this. They'll know how to mix and blend and take different things off the shelf.
Let me tell you, the protocol that I go through at night.
You have a protocol?
Now to add a wet washcloth to it is a whole nother level of
Well,
things,
make sure
yes.
that if you buy a pack of washcloths, you're taken care of. So do you mix and
Like I'll take, like for example, I have microdermabrasion, which is such a common thing. Everybody knows about that for years.
Yes.
But there's different types of abrasion systems. So where someone might have one machine and it has crystals, I don't. I have about 4 different types that I can choose from. So if I look at someone's skin and I feel the texture and my hands are there, I'm going to pick one of those 4 units. I'm not going to just stick to my one staple that usually people have. It's just one piece.
Have you ever seen the show Dr. Pimple Popper?
I did by accident. I was flipping through the channels. I'm like, oh my
That's
God,
disgusting.
look at that.
People love that.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever
Think
heard.
about it.
I
But
have news for you. That really was. And there were points that I could not see, especially when these cysts are like, I don't know, 10
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. No, we ain't doing that. Let's move on. Let me ask you, men and women. Men, do
But
you work?
yes.
You work with men?
I do. I have men that come in.
Men's skin is much more abrasive than women
No, theirs is actually more sensitive.
with the shaving
Because of
and
the
all
shaving, and they're already abrading the skin, so you have to be cautious with their skin tone, type, and texture. And that's why there's a different section where it says for guys.
you want to have a facial?
For guys.
Have you ever had a facial?
For guys.
that? I did one time. I ran out of it.
Ever had one?
What guys like is the Tesla unit. It was developed by Tesla.
I like the car.
I know, I do too. I heard that you could talk into the car and just say, "Find me, I'm on the south
does.
side of Macy's." And all of a sudden, the car's just coming and there's like no one in it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was that show.
My friend was telling me about that.
That's what
was
I
like,
want to do.
I
Can
want
you
one.
please get rid of my pimples and my wrinkles? Can I talk to
Yeah,
the
the
Tesla
Tesla.
machine like that? Because who at 52 has pimples and wrinkles other than me? I'm telling you, this is a whole thing that I got to go through all the time.
You
How
got to
about
get new
children?
towels.
Oh, I see kids.
I-
I have kids. I have teenagers. I have them for their acne. Even when they're seeing a dermatologist, for one thing, they still come and see me to take care and address the others. So yeah.
You want to work with scarring also, right? Because
Scarring. I have things that help with scarring,
Well, I wanna-
whether it's some kind of a machine or serums or something.
I want to bring up the fact when kids have acne in high school, it's very brutal. And what happens is they put you on tetracycline. And they put you on a bombardment of tetracycline. This is what they
You're
did to
right.
me. And this is why my intestines are a mess. And this is why diabetes now runs in my side of the family. They just didn't understand back then just the damage that tetracycline does to the intestinal tract
They didn't.
and your immune system.
They didn't.
So they came up with some other things, and I've talked to Gio and stuff like that because he was going to a doctor. But the psychological aspect of what happens to young people is demoralizing. It is horrible, and even to the point of suicide. I can even tell you cases when I went to high school in Puerto Rico. It was that bad. The heat in Puerto Rico made the skin even greasier, and if you didn't wash every 15 minutes, you had acne. And the acne was horrible, and people were just brutal, and they made fun of people, and it was really tough. So when you bring up that whole show, it just gives me flashbacks to this stuff. But the bottom line here is you work with these kids, yes?
I do, and I really enjoy it because I get to hear the stories. I always say, call me, keep in touch with me. I have a follow-up. Mostly when we go and you have some treatment, you never hear anybody calling you back saying, how are you doing? Is everything okay? Do you have any questions? I do that.
I love that.
I like communication. And I'll even tell my teenagers, call me. You have any questions, food, items, anything. I'm not going to know the answer to it perhaps, but you know what? I'm going to look it up for you. I have other resources, doctors that I'm friends with. I can always check on things. So I like that. And the one gal that I've been working with for a couple of times now, beautiful, just on her first visit, just on one treatment, the difference that I made.
And you have programs that people can purchase and take home, or do you change?
do.
Because you had talked last time how you disrupt the balance, but only to put it back in a new balance.
Well, right, like over the weekend when I was working with some ladies that came in from Naples, I was working on a series of sections for them because they only make it out just so many times out of the month. So whatever I took out of their skin, moisture, irritation, dryness, I had to make sure that I calmed their skin down and put any kind of moisture back in so that they don't leave creping, drying, irritated. So
Ever
I
had a
do
facial,
that.
Tiffany?
No.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm worried about my skin now. I'm sure we should do some before and after.
Okay.
I've just met Brooke, so I've followed my first person experience with mental health and physical health, but I haven't approached my skin. So I'd like to do that.
Sure.
I'm more interested in nationally. The YMCA has a program for children on skin, skin cancer prevention, but it could easily embrace what you do, and they're already national. You know YMCA.
I know YMCA. We used to be members of the YMCA back home in Idaho. I loved it. I'd be happy to come by.
That would be.
I would love it.
You're from Idaho?
Well, actually, I was transported to Idaho. My husband,
Explains
from Idaho?
everything.
my husband's
Potatoes.
company took us to Idaho, Colorado, Middle East,
Idaho.
Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
Where were you born, though? What?
Where was I born?
Yeah,
Raised?
Yeah.
Jersey.
Oh, she's a Jersey girl.
So she's
I'm a
not
Jersey
Idaho.
girl.
She's one of those
Monmouth
chemical
County.
Texans.
Monmouth County. Born Long Branch Medical.
That's
How'd
what-
you get involved doing what you're doing?
Do you know, it's just about 47 years ago. 11 years, I was 11 years old, and I was just going down to the corner drugstore on my bicycle, picking up sunscreen and cleansers and things like that, and experimenting and having all this stuff, and just started doing it, just in elementary school, cleansing, taking care of.
What amazing.
Mixing things, too. My sisters, who are older, would look at my room, and I had all these little bottles.
So
And
what
then
the
they
hell
come to
did
my
you?
office, and they say, I feel like I'm back in your bedroom.
So what the hell did you look like when you were younger? Because you look like you're younger now. So what were you, like 4 when you were 20?
Oh, thank you.
I mean, think about it. How do you go backwards here?
And if you didn't see the show when Brooke was with us at Ramona's, she actually gave Freddie her driver's license.
I didn't believe her. I
Because
said,
you
let me
didn't
see
believe
your
how
driver's
old
license.
you were going to be on your. Has it been your birthday yet, or it's coming up?
Oh, not yet. It's coming up.
So this month or next?
What are you
This
worried
one.
about?
It's this month.
You get younger.
And Freddie goes, I need to see your driver's license because there is
He
no
really
way.
did.
And he gave her.
And she
your
gave it
driver's
to me.
He
license.
really did. I had no.
That's entertaining.
He's like,
I could not
Okay.
believe that. And then I walked around the whole store. And it says, you believe this woman's age? And they were like,
remarkable,
no. Yeah, it's remarkable. I'm wondering, when you were 20, you must have looked like you were 12.
when I was 21, I met my husband, okay? I didn't have my driver's license with me. And I was getting carded. And my husband's like, at the time we were dating, he goes, she's with me, I'll watch her. And I'm like, I'm older than you.
Are you?
By 7 months.
That's
But I'm
hilarious.
like, I'm older than you. What are you talking about?
You get carded now?
No, not now. No.
I would card you.
Please, you would not. Get
I
on.
would card you.
You just want to look at the name.
I would be amazed. I would card you. Now, I'm going to tell you the other thing about her,
Yes.
because she is in this field. is her hands.
I need help.
Look at her hands. They're freaking amazing.
I have a
Yes.
lot of oxygen running around in my room.
Is that what it is? Is that what the secret to this whole thing is? I gotta suck on oxygen
I have a
too.
lot of oxygen running around in my room. I had a wonderful gal that was with me on Friday,
Nasal cane.
and she coughing and not well, and I was doing a treatment to help her, and I just put her on the oxygen unit to help with respiration in the skin, and she stopped coughing.
So it was an oxygen problem?
I told her to go see her doctor. Let her doctor know what we did, and I wrote down the time that we started to the time that we ended, and I timed the coughing. And I wrote this down for notes, because I always believe in notes, even with myself. If a doctor's going to do it, I'm going to write this down and take a note when I start and when I'm in between. So that way when I go back to him, this is what happened, hello.
Right, so you have it.
We should be
reference.
responsible for your own body, know it, and that's how I am.
Well, how did you know she needed oxygen?
Her skin, see, that's just it. The skin talks. It talks
So
to
it
lets
talked to
know.
you?
Well, it shows me things, the signs, paleness, the dull, how it needed to be just picked up. But it was the coughing. It was like.
You do this with everybody? You could pick it up like this? I
Yes.
can imagine.
I had a guy, listen to this. I had a guy, this man, and I just started doing a little massage work before I started. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Are you a healthcare person?" And I went, "Yes, why?" Because I am a registered practitioner, okay? And I said, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "I could tell." I said, "How could you tell?" He goes, "By your hands. Just by your touch and the way you move your hands." It's like, oh, okay. Some of my friends, they say it's like I know how to dance. I'm dancing with my hands.
Well, your hand, hands are a giveaway to age and the type of life you had and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, the men have it easier because
We don't have it easier.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it-
there's calluses on here, all sorts of
No.
stuff going on there.
Mechanics, gardening,
I don't think your
Grease,
hands
lightning.
age as much as ours do as women.
Are you out of your mind?
You do?
Your
You
cat?
always look at hands. You remember we did a show
It's always
with
about
Becky,
the hands.
and she had her hands injected on air at Clive Daniels,
I remember that.
so you wouldn't see the veins. So there's a procedure you can inject your
Yes.
hands.
It's a Restylane filler, and it helps to put the barrier underneath there, the gel, and puff it out so you don't see the veins.
But can you treat hands like you treat face?
You
Right,
can,
to help with,
yes.
I mean you, because of what you do is amazing.
Well, with people with lines or with people with sunspots, you can do that too.
What about varicose veins?
Varicose veins? That's a whole nother story.
You don't touch those.
Oh no, that's the legs. But
That's the
I know
legs. Do you
someone who
have
does.
those?
What?
Do you have those?
No.
Because
Not
I
yet
hear they're
anyway.
painful.
I don't know.
I heard they used to strip them.
Yeah, there's a machine that'll strip the veins, and it's all these different procedures.
I don't want to go there.
Why? Just pulling it out. Just
Thanks. I'm going to
That
court
and the
you.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
You want coffee? I want to see your driver's license.
And the doctor, imagine that. But you think about who goes into skincare. It's like I think who goes into dental hygiene, because there's certain things that they're a little personal,
You know,
right?
I
you-
also do the permanent makeup,
What the hell is that?
Oh,
The hell's
I've got a
permanent
wonderful
makeup?
portfolio
The
where I
ta-
do
the
the brows,
tattoo, right?
the tattooing, yeah.
You do permanent tattoo? You do tattoos? You're a tattooer?
Yeah, not
Makeup
that
tattoos.
kind, but the permanent makeup kind. The eyeliner, the
Oh,
brows.
the black around the eyes
Yeah.
permanently?
Mhm,
Isn't
yes.
that kind of hurt? Ouch.
Actually, it depends on the anesthetic that they're using. It depends. If they can get a compound made, it's better than having the one that they order online.
So they take off their eyebrows and you can.
Well, you
pencil-
also do with the eyebrows, you told me.
The microblading.
Yes.
You do that too with the string?
Yeah, I've got a great portfolio.
I
Women
saw that.
That's
just look amazing.
but that's
Amazing
different.
women that just.
I'm gonna tell you
That's
something.
threading.
It hurts.
Threading.
Threading hurts. Hurts
Have
a
you
lot.
done that?
It can hurt
I went.
men.
I went to
It's
the.
thread-
Men are babies. You go ouch, and they
My
run.
husband is the worst. And I do threading.
He's
and
not the worst, he's a
whatever.
man.
And I'm like, okay, just. He goes, what are you doing? I said, just be quiet. Don't worry about it. I'm taking care of you.
And you thread it.
I'm threading, or I have to take a scissor, or I'm taking a little wax, or yeah.
Wax on the eyebrows. Oh my God, that's painful.
Aren't you
You ever
glad you're
done
not a
that?
woman?
What?
Aren't you glad you're not
Stop!
a woman?
I have a migraine. Somebody give me
You probably
Tylenol.
really do have a migraine today.
I went to the mall one day and threading. This is maybe 5 years ago. For it had just come out threading, and I sit in there and I see this woman's head because I guess whoever was doing it was learning.
She was
And the lady was crying. The guy was crying. The tears are coming down his face, but he was a macho. And I said to him, "See ya."
don't want to be here.
Oh my gosh. I was talking to someone on Saturday and she said there's a new place in the mall and they're giving out $20 facials. And what I always say, if it sounds too good to be true and it involves your health care or your face, be cautious because
What does that mean? You didn't go?
it wasn't
She's
for me,
right.
somebody else. But a $20 facial,
What's wrong with that? What about
maybe,
a free
maybe
facial?
it's fabulous.
What about
maybe
a free?
it's wonderful.
What about a free facial? You want to do a free facial? We've done shows on the air
I
where
don't
people
let
have free
anyone
facials.
touch my medical things unless I truly trust them and I know
Your
them.
medical
and,
thing?
And they're a walking billboard. Yeah, my
What
face.
medical thing?
My face.
Your face
my
is a
body.
medical thing?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I have a sign that says, "See the world face first."
Just
You know,
think
she
about
can
when you
say
walk
so
into
many
a
things
room.
because look at the way she
When
looks,
you
like
walk
$1 million
into a room,
bucks.
what's the first thing that happens? People look
When you-
at you.
When you what?
When you walk into a room or you meet somebody, the first thing is they look at you, right?
I don't know. Is that the first thing they do? Is look at you? That's why I always walk in going like this. Though. I got something in my eyes.
51.
But it's true, and you want to put your best face forward, right? And if
do.
you know you're sensitive to things or you're allergic to things, you want to make sure you go to a practitioner that's going to understand that.
Right. And that's the intake sheet. I have an intake sheet.
You know, I laugh. I gotta laugh, DJ.
What? You use the same washcloth for a week?
And then I do
Maybe
a
two.
recap.
These two walk into a room. You think that anybody's gonna say anything? I mean, not boo. If anything, the women are gonna hate them, the men are gonna lust for them, and the children are gonna cry for them. I mean, right?
You got it.
You and me, you and I walk into a room, they throw tomatoes at us and they say, get the hell out of
Your
here.
dirty washcloth and say, here.
I'm gonna make a shirt. Use it more than once. And put a drop cuff on the back.
One time, my poor husband, I took all the towels and stuff out of the bathroom, and then he goes in to take a shower.
There's no towels?
He's yelling, "Can I have a one?" I didn't
Is
even
it
hear him.
difficult-
I'm like, I finally hear noise. I'm like, I'm on the other side of the house. What do you? He goes, "You took out everything."
Is it difficult living with someone like you? Because from what I hear, living with this one is very difficult.
I can be a scotchamenza.
I've actually stopped using washcloths and towels for my hands because it spreads bacteria and paper towels. That's why I keep paper towels in our bathroom here.
What the
Because
hell?
you use it and you throw it away. You're not
Is that why you don't
re-sharing.
have a sponge in this place? Because of the
Hate
bacteria?
sponges.
Just
Do
put
you
them in the
know what's good,
microwave.
though? These microfiber towels. My husband ordered them, and they actually do not hold any scent or mildew.
Have you tried them, Tiffany, where you can
No.
take your makeup off with these microfiber?
Don't do that, though.
Oh, they make those though too, though, right?
They do, but
I think they keep bacteria in also.
they'll hold it. But don't use towels. Don't use a paper towel. Don't grab a tissue. What a friend of mine told me a long, long time ago is because of the pulp can irritate the skin.
Oh.
So
What pulp? Inside the
Inside
towel?
the tissue. That's what makes it rough. That's all
Paper
I know.
pulp.
There's
That's
all
what
kind
makes
of-
it rough.
Can you imagine?
That's why if you can hold a tissue here, and a toilet tissue here, maybe that's the difference between Charmin and the other. Okay, that's a whole different.
I'm thinking of
Let's
Freddie.
not go there.
Paper pots.
You know what I'm thinking
Let's
you?
just say paper products.
Because you're
Paper
thinking
pulp.
right now, all this thought about wiping your face, washing your face, you don't even think twice, right? You wash it, you
Go
go.
do it.
Soap and water and
And your shaving cream, you probably go old school.
oh yeah.
Probably not any of
I
these
use a straight
organic
blade.
And
men's
you
lines.
don't, right? You don't use one of those those electric shavers.
I do.
Dry or wet.
Mine's pulsates.
Okay, so you don't use the shaving cream then?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you're not supposed to.
Hey, listen, don't tell me, I don't tell you, okay? I use shaving cream everywhere that needs to be shaved. It's
Really?
going to get lubricated. Absolutely.
Really?
And you know what the secret is? Because I have a rough beard, you got to keep it on for at least 5 minutes. So do other things and then
I
shave.
see my husband. He doesn't use that. He uses the dry shaver, and he's just.
I don't
I'm
do
thinking I
that.
want to put a camera in your bathroom when you're shaving in
I'll
the
put a
morning.
camera in
watch
your
the
bathroom.
whole-
I'll put a camera in your
That'd be
bathroom.
scary.
I'll put a
Can you
camera in your
imagine?
bathroom. I bet you I get more people watching that one than you watching me. Straight edge also, the best. If you can get it
You
done.
use both?
I used to use a straight edge. I lost mine. But if anybody wants to give me a Christmas present, straight edge is the best.
Well, you can usually get like a Bic.
No, not a Bic. I don't use a Bic.
Yeah,
A Bic is a pen.
Isn't that
Not
a
a straight edge?
Straight edge is a barber's straight edge.
Oh,
You
that
use
one
like a
razor
sweet-
thing.
yeah.
That's some
That's
serious
sharp.
stuff.
That's sharp, nice and
that's
sharp.
That's what you use?
I used to. I lost mine. Now I
Do barbers
use.
still use that?
Yeah, and they put the towel on your face afterwards, and because your pores are open, you feel that heat, baby. I'm gonna tell you. And they put that alcohol on you. You go, "Aye!" Right? Hurts.
Yeah, because it just opened you up.
Do you also have the blade for facial hair? There's no polite way to say this.
Dermablading.
Dermablading. Do you do that as well?
Yeah, I do.
That's the
Women
thing also.
love that.
I know.
It's
But you know what
fabulous.
happens is it grows back.
Well, yeah, but it was really not meant for the hair, the superfluous light peach fuzz hair. It wasn't really meant for that. It was meant to renew the skin and to resurface the skin and help with different conditions of the skin.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's like a
The
straight
hair
edge.
the hair just came along with it.
It's like a straight edge blade that you use for everything on your face also. Because you know how men shave every day?
Yeah.
Or relatively there?
Yes, everything.
Women don't. So you
You shave?
No, but your
You
skin...
stop shaving?
Yeah, stop shaving. But your skin builds up all the extra dead cells that men, when they shave, don't get anymore.
You know Dora.
Dr. Dora.
Dr. Dora's watching. Now, Dr. Dora, she writes books. And she does it nakedly. But that's our secret. She's always... And she says facials are the best.
They are.
They are.
So let's tell
relaxing
people how
and
they can find you.
soothing. Well, I'm right in Boca. I'm at the La Fontana Plaza at 9045 La Fontana Boulevard, Suite 209. All they have to do is take the elevator to the second floor. And my phone number also, it says 209 on the door, but the phone number is 561-563-2295. That's 561-563-2295.
Now, you are a walking Christmas gift.
Yes.
Because I'm in red.
And, no. That's not what I
I
meant.
need to put a bow on my head.
But do you give out gift cards for your services?
I
can
do.
see-
I have,
you do?
Yeah, I do. I have gift cards, and which, when you come, I have a mixer. Now we know from drinks, a mixer is what? What is it? 2 alcohol drink? Because I don't drink. So what is a mixer?
Mixer could be
It's
lots
like
of things. It could
mixing
be
a Bloody Mary.
dating.
Is that a
could be
mixer? What's it?
all of that.
Okay, well,
Mix.
this is a different kind of mixer. It's a special mixer, and it's vegan.
It's a vegan mixer.
So when you come, Dawn, guess what? You get to go to the mixing bar and make yourself something.
Is it alcohol related?
You mean like a smoothie or a drink?
No, I can't tell you. It's secret.
It's a
I'll let
secret.
you know on
Can I bring
Thursday.
your own? What is it? BYR? Bring your own.
BYOB?
BYOB, whatever.
I'll let you know on Thursday how that goes. I get to go Wednesday afternoon.
Now, before we go to the next segment, I want to ask you real quick. Remember the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Where he waxed his chest.
Where he goes in the wax?
Oh, yeah. That part I remember.
And they
Everybody
rip-
used to tell me about
Well,
that.
that's the highlight of that movie. And they ripped the hell out of him and made a smiley face on his hairy body. So,
Do you want that? Do you want a smiley
hold on a
face?
second. That being said, I've gone through that process with one person one time. It is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. There has to be a better way than...
There is. Sometimes, too, if the hair's... If you want me to be serious, okay, if the hair's too long, all you have to do is just...
Shave it.
Shave it. But just keep just like a quarter above the skin.
And then what do you do?
And then you can have it waxed. And that way the tear is not a long tear, it's short.
And
And it's quick. And cold compress immediately. You remove it, and then...
I'm going to tell
on
you, you would
top.
have to put me unconscious. You have to put my whole body in an ice
Take a
bath.
Benadryl.
And then...
Take a Benadryl.
A Benadryl.
Between the pimple popping and the waxing,
I tell you, stop saying
I don't
that.
know if I can take it anymore.
But that, I'm
tonight.
telling you,
Benadryl.
that is such a secret.
No alcohol, just
Men,
Benadryl.
men would love it if you had a way of doing certain
Have
things.
you ever been waxed?
I just told you, I did it one
She
time.
did with the smiley face. You wanted a smiley face on your stomach, right?
It wasn't on my stomach. They did my back. And
Your
I'm going
back?
to tell you something. It was the most
Painful?
painful thing I've ever gone through
Never
in
do it
my
again.
entire life. It's like I gave birth.
No.
It was
Except when you give birth, we should do it again because
No.
we forget.
no, but you had. And then she says to me, "Oh, I'll do it again next month." I said, we broke up. I said, I don't want to see you again. It was that bad. I mean, I was crying for 3 days.
And she didn't think of just taking down some of the hair first, checking to see the length of it, to see if it...
No, and then men think they're all macho
Okay,
and all
so
this
what did
shit.
you do?
I ran.
No, what did
she
you
was
do
grabbing
prior to
me.
her not really checking you to make sure that she should cut some of the
I
hair
thought she
down?
knew what the hell she was doing.
Oh, you poor thing. Sorry.
And I said to her, maybe I should have a shot or something. No, this will be quick. Quick. It was agonizing. That stupid hot wax. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Don't do that.
You know what? One day we're going to get you in to see Brooke.
No, he's
and
not.
She's going to do a
Yes.
treatment
You know
on your
what?
face.
I have 6 different types of waxes. I don't have just one generic.
Brooke, I need something
I have
electrolysis.
6.
I need something electrolysis. I
I
can't
don't
do
mean
the
that. I mean,
wax.
how about a facial? You don't like people touching you, so.
I would do a facial. I
We'll do a
trust that.
vacuum
And you look
system.
like this. You know this woman here? You will never believe how old this woman is.
Oh boy.
You would never believe it.
Okay. You're really
She doesn't want to
killing
talk
me.
about it.
No, I won't tell you how old she is, but just put it this way. She's
been
in
married
the
for
world's
38 years.
record for the youngest looking woman on the planet for her
She
age.
looks wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
I made her give me her driver's license because I could not believe the age she told me.
Yeah, he wanted my driver's license. I'm thinking, okay, it's a little weird, but yeah, what the heck?
It's
Here's
like-
my
you're like from-
license.
She's like from the pod in the pool in the
Oh, that movie. I remember. What
See,
was that
she
movie
knows that.
called?
Cocoon.
Yes, I remember that
I
movie.
think you were
I love
cocoonist.
that movie.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
That was sweet.
So for more information, it's a great stocking stuffer for the holidays. You can contact Brooke at Skin Fusion Studios in Boca Raton, 561-563-2295. I'm going on Wednesday, so I'll fill you in on Thursday.
Hey, Dora, check it out. Why don't you go and have one done? She keeps writing in. Why don't you go and have one done? And let us know. Come, we'll put you on the air. Let us know how the
Actually,
experience
Dr.
is.
Dory, you should come up and visit us as well in
You
our
should,
new
and
studio.
put your clothes on and bring a book.
Our new AMP2 TV studios in Boca Raton. We're located at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. It still has the old signage up, but soon to be named AMP2 TV Studios. So more coming with that as well.
All righty. You want to go to break?
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking elections, I guess. What's going on with the Palm Beach County Sheriff election.
Let's check it out.
Tiffany, more to come with you as well. I don't know how you find everyone, but man, you keep doing what you do. And keep smiling.
Sounds
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would just listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
Hi, my name is Leslie Carmen, and I'm the founder from Carmen Care Laser here in Boca Raton. We've done so many treatments. We've treated people with severe back pain, knee pain. If your pain has been there for so many years, often we just have a tendency to just believe that we're not going to get better.
I had a bad injury with my knee, my left knee, and it is amazing after just 3 treatments. And even after the first treatment, I could tell a huge difference.
We'd love to invite you to come see us and be a part of that. Thank you.
As we age, our stem cells decline in their ability to heal our bodies. Imagine a patch that could activate your stem cells and reset them to a younger, healthier state. No supplements, nutrients, or drugs enter your body. Activate your stem cells with this patented phototherapy. Benefits include the support of wound healing, rapid pain relief, increased energy, better sleep, reduced stress, sharper mental focus, and an overall feeling of youthful vitality. When you're at your best, you experience the world differently. Contact us at 561-929-1627. For a free consultation to help you feel your best, activate your own stem cells with this affordable patented phototherapy. Call today, 561-929-1627.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
And we're back.
That gets louder and louder.
My bell is loose. That's a loosey bell. Anyway, welcome back. Listen, caring is sharing. Nope. Retake. Sharing is caring. So do us a favor. Share out what you got. I am out of Facebook jail, finally.
Good. It's about time.
You like that little segue?
I like that little segue.
Facebook jail? Because on the set we have
Oh, yes.
Captain
We've
Diaz.
got Captain Diaz running for Palm Beach County Sheriff on the set with us on this kind of an interesting Monday morning is all I can tell you. I don't know what happens. Our crew gets out of school and they all, I think, kind of shut down. Our interns, our producers, thank you, Hector and Fernando, for being here today.
Where would
Teddy's
we be
out
without
and
these two guys?
I don't know where we'd be.
And he hung curtains and everything. I'm talking about the DJ, and this guy ran wires. Where would we be
I think
without
I'm the
these guys?
only non-Latino in this whole studio
I tell
today.
you,
is all I can
querida,
tell you.
get into the game. Because
That's
you
all
know
I
what they
can tell
say.
you.
You know, I'm really proud of the fact that we have a Latino running for sheriff. And I'm going to, you know, Sunday's my show, Dawn with Dawns, and I'm going to talk it up big because it's about time. And next I'm going to get another, it's like Lopez says, a president, Latino president, which I am all in favor of as well. I like to get a smart guy in there, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's never heard of, though. It's never heard about Latinos having I mean, what's the name of the guy, the Cuban down in Miami? I don't even know what his name is.
Marco Rubio?
Yeah, him, Rubio.
Senator
Rubio is down there, and he's somebody, right? He's been in the game. I used to be, I used to work for Charlie Rangel. I was his congressional aide, and 8, and Charlie showed me the real deal about politics, which is not necessarily what you're voting for. He showed me how guys go in there and they make deals and yada yada yada, and I was shocked. They changed the federal lines where he has some of Yankee Stadium, which is in the Bronx. And he became the head of the Ways and Means Committee and everything else. So I'm really proud of the fact that Captain Diaz is on the set today.
Thank you.
Because, not for nothing, a Latino, I don't care. As long as they can walk and talk, I'm pretty sure you're going to be educated enough to be involved in this thing. And I'm proud of the fact that you're here doing your gig. And I'm dying to find out what the hell you're thinking. Why'd you get involved?
Well, something has to be done, right? The current process that we're going through right now within the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, as far as I'm concerned, is not acceptable. I don't believe that just because it's an elected position that policies should be mandated based on politics. I believe as a sheriff you serve the people, and when you do that you need to put politics aside and think of people first. Therefore that explains my slogan, which is always citizens before politics.
I was just going to say, because we don't ever often talk politics on the show, because it's just one of these muddied areas where
Absolutely.
No one can ever agree, and everyone agrees to disagree, or they just disagree, but no one ever agrees on politics.
That's correct.
Right? But this is different, and we were just talking before the segment started, is that I didn't realize that sheriff now is party-based, because before it had been nonpartisan.
That is correct.
And you're telling me now, after 4 elections, that it's now back to being partisan.
That's correct. Actually, this would be the 5th election, but this one now has become a partisan election because the laws changed back in April. Prior to, I believe it was 1990, it used to be also a partisan election, and then I believe it was under Sheriff Ed Bulick had that change to become a nonpartisan race. But after some review done by our legislative branch up in Tallahassee, that's been changed, and now we're back to being a partisan race.
Because to me, it seems, just as you said, we're talking about citizens, we're talking about the people of our county, right? Our children, our safety, our school systems. Nothing to do with politics.
Correct.
This is people. Although
Correct.
we could say that, I guess, about everything. But honestly, right, it's about the people, where you live. So tell us some of the platforms, some of the things that you're really looking to change and strive for.
Well, in order to make change, you have to take a look at the past and the current, what's been going on, and identify if we do need change. Because change for the sake of having change, obviously, is not always necessary, and it's not always, the outcome is not always favorable,
Sure.
right? So that being said, I mean, just take a look at our past situation that we just had with Mr. Epstein. Everybody knows about that case, right? And I was very disappointed in our sheriff when he announces, or incumbent, our sheriff currently right now, Rick Brashaw, where he announces on the media through a press release that Mr. Epstein qualified for work release based on the fact that he wasn't a registered sex offender, that he was only a convicted sex offender. I about dropped out of my chair when I read that article. First of all, anyone that knows anything about law enforcement fully understands that you are a convicted sex offender first. You're convicted by the courts. You're then sentenced to your term in jail. And then after you do your term and you leave and you're released back to the public is when you register. And then you become a registered sex offender. So the problem that I have with that whole situation is real simple. You cannot say that your policy within the sheriff's office clearly states that sex offenders do not qualify, right? Do not qualify for work release, yet he, Mr. Epstein, is qualified on the basis that he wasn't registered yet. He was only a convicted sex offender. So I found that appalling. This man was allowed to be released on work release for up to 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, for approximately 8 to 10 months. Also, a detail was provided for him using deputy and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office resources.
How the hell does that? How do you do that?
Well, that's where politics come in. See my whole point? That's where politics comes in. I'm not going to go into detail how they got to that point. That's something you would have to ask Sheriff Brasher himself directly. But I can tell you Sheriff Diaz will not allow that. I don't care if you're a billionaire, a millionaire, or dead broke.
It's about money.
If you're a sex offender, you're not walking the streets while you're supposed to be in jail. That's just not going to happen. There is no work release for you. And if it's by some case court ordered by the judges, then we're going to go talk to the state attorney's office, and we're going to mandate, and we're going to ask, and if we need to go see the governor, and if we need to take it all the way to the White House or the Florida Supreme Court, we will do so. But I will not allow the courts to dictate to the sheriff of the county who should and shouldn't qualify for work release, especially on a sex offender case.
And let's talk about sex offenders. Let's talk about the kids. What's going on with our school system?
Right. Well, that's a whole another complicated topic. So I say this on my platform. And I don't know if you've had the opportunity to take a look on my platform, my videos and so forth that I've spoken. I've been very outspoken about our schools. So let's put it in perspective first. Palm Beach County is very unique in itself. Why do I say that? Well, mainly because Palm Beach County has its own police department for the school. It's called Palm Beach County School Board Police. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is not responsible for providing security to our public schools. Now, there's been a new House bill that came out that the county and the sheriff does have to provide either training for the school safety officers for those charter schools and or provide security for the charters and private schools in the county pocket areas. That's not good enough for me. And here's what my proposal is. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is the largest agency in Palm Beach County, right? It has the largest training division, the most qualified personnel working there, which I'm very proud to say that I came from that. That being said, there is no current training between the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and School Board Police Department. There are no current training on active shooters or policies combined with School Board. What does that mean? Right now, if God forbid that we have an active shooter in one of our schools, at our public schools, our School Board Police Department will respond. We will respond once we are notified through their dispatch center. When an officer arrives at a school, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this to you. And I like to use this as an example. It's going to get your attention. Do you all remember the first time you walked into high school, your first day, or middle school, and you had 7 or 8 classes and you had to go find them?
Yep.
Do you remember how stressful that was?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember how difficult it was to find those classes?
Sure.
Now imagine doing that under fire. Imagine children screaming, teachers screaming, running down the hallway in every direction, and nobody can find the classroom. So here's what we're going to do under Laurel Diaz's administration. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deputy, every deputy that has a school in their sector, okay, will go to each school. They will walk that school on a daily basis until they memorize that school. They will also partner up with the school resource officer that's working, even though they're not from the same department. They will build a bond. They will have each other's cell phone number. They will communicate with each other on a daily basis. And I cannot see for 1 second the chief of police from school board, from Palm Beach County School Board, objecting to this. There's no way any chief of police would ever object to anything like this. Because at the end of the day, our children are our most precious commodity, right? I mean, they're everything, right? So why will we not put everything forward that we can to make sure our children are secure? So to follow up on that, here's what happens. There's a lot of confusion on this. 911 call comes out, there's an active shooter. People are always thinking, oh, well, SWAT's on their way. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes over an hour for SWAT to get there and get set up and do their entry. It's over by then.
But wait a minute. Why does it take an hour? Let's start
For SWAT to get
backwards.
there?
Because I see SWAT on TV, they get there in 15 seconds.
Well, you just answered the question. It's TV. You
So it's not real
you don't
life.
believe everything you see on TV. I hope not.
I'm thinking I don't.
No, it does not. I was a SWAT commander for many years. I was in SWAT for many years. I was also on the SWAT team in the U.S. Army. And I'm here to tell you, from the time the page goes out to the time we arrive to the scene, we dressed up, we have our quick briefing, and we deploy. You're looking at 45 minutes minimum.
So then that isn't a solution.
That's not a solution. You're pressing your active officers, your road patrol deputies, what you see out there, ladies and gentlemen, every day, driving up and down the street, that's who's going to come to your aid. And that's not just for active shooters. You're at home, a burglar comes into your home, you dial 911. It's not SWAT that's coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is that patrol deputy that works that sector. That's who's going to be there. So what do we need? We need more patrol deputies, we need better trained deputies, and we need them to work with other municipalities and other agencies.
Okay, so
Everybody
that
should
runs
work
into
together.
runs into money. Then they're going to say to you, Captain Diaz, who's going to fund this? How do we get this funded? Because you're looking to raise more expenditures to hire more sheriffs.
Well, here's the unique thing about the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. We already have the training division. We already have the training rooms. We're the unique agency that has their own firing range with their own shoot house. Everything is in place. It's just tearing down those walls and working together like two brothers and two sisters and say, hey, let's not worry about whose agency's responsibility it is. We're working this together as a team approach, and let's come up with a solution. And God forbid we ever have to activate this, at least we know what we're doing. And it'll be that much quicker.
I like this.
And time saves life. That's just the way it is.
You know, there's going to be a lot of pushback because
Oh,
I'm
of
pretty
course there
sure
is.
that the other side is saying, well, who's going to pay for this and that? Who's going to do this? I just have to ask you, when you're running for an office and when you're running for a position and you're going to say, and I'm reading what you have here, and you get elected, you win the election, and politics changes your allowable to deliver. How do you handle that? So, you have homelessness here.
Yes.
And I got to be honest with you, Captain Diaz. And again, I have nothing against the police department.
Sure.
I was an auxiliary at the 3-4 in New York for years. I seen people take homeless in one highway, take them to the next town, and drop them off on the same highway.
Absolutely.
Just to get them out of their vector.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. Let's
So
let's call it a real deal.
Give me a minute and I'll explain that to you.
You got it.
Because I want to double back on something that you started the conversation with a pushback as far as once you become a political figurehead.
Okay.
I want to look at the screen. I want to explain something to the citizens of Palm Beach County. I'm not running for office to be a politician. I'm not running for office to be a lifetime sheriff of Palm Beach County or break any records. And Sheriff Bradshaw, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm running for office to do what's right for the citizens of Palm Beach County that's long overdue. So the actions and the decisions that I make are based on what's best for the community, not based for Laurel Diaz as a politician.
Beautiful.
So I want to make sure that that's clear. And if you don't like it, don't vote for me, number one. And number two, if I win and you still don't like it, don't re-elect me. It's real simple.
Okay.
It's real simple. So that answers that part. Now, the second part of the question, which was?
The homelessness.
The homelessness. Thank you. I got a little...
Passionate.
He gets
Yes,
a little
I did.
emotional. There
Yes.
seems to be a little more than we're gonna have him back. You know, there seems to be a little more as we get closer to the elections. I'm pretty sure this stuff is gonna come out.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Well, think
Oh, I
about
love
it. Think about running, right? You were talking about our children, talking about the lives of our citizens, our community. If you're not passionate about protecting your people, then
Then
you
don't
shouldn't
do
be
it.
in that position
Then
of
don't
what
do
you
it.
do. Right, exactly.
I love
because
it.
this is not politics, this is people.
That's
This is
right.
community.
This is life or death.
All right, so anyway, the homeless situation, well, you hit it right on the head. So obviously you have worked law enforcement. I grew up like that in law enforcement at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. A lot of the times when we receive the call, we put and I'm not proud to say this, we take the homeless, put them in our patrol car, and take them to the county line. You're absolutely right. It happened, it has happened, and I'm sure it's still happening today. That's not a solution. It is clear that it costs approximately the taxpayers of Palm Beach County anywhere between $400 to $800. I'm not sure on the exact figure for every 24 hours at the county jail. So usually a homeless person that's arrested is placed in the county jail. We have them there for 2 to 3 days. He or she is then released, and they're back to being homeless again. So here's the different approach that we're going to take. And no, it's not going to cost any money because it's called partnering up with the community. You'll understand it here when I explain it to you in a second. So what you're going to do is you need to identify, why is this person homeless? Let's stop going out there and just arresting them because they're homeless. Being homeless is not a crime, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? That is not a crime. I don't see any statute that says you're homeless, you should be arrested. And here's the statute you charge them with. And if there is, somebody needs to show it to me. So let's stop focusing on arresting the homeless. Let's talk to the homeless and find out what has caused this individual, he or she, to become homeless. Is it a substance abuse issue? Is it a mental issue? Is it a PTSD issue? What is it? Is it educational, training, labor? What is it? Let's identify what the cause is and work with our partners in the community. And Lord knows there's plenty of partnership that we can have in Palm Beach County. It's starting with the Homeless Coalition of Palm Beach County, who I've already met with and spoke with. And I sat down at length and spoke to them and identified what their true needs are. And it's more than just a homeless coalition. It takes our labor community within the county, our labor forces. It takes our educational programs, and it takes our substance abuse programs. And we all need to work together. And there's plenty of those programs that are willing to move forward and help as long as everybody pitches in. Mm-hmm. Everybody. You can't just allow one group to take that entire burden. And as the sheriff of Palm Beach County, you need to lead by example. It's not all about enforcing laws and arresting people. It's about finding solutions of what's causing these problems. Because if not, all we're doing is a revolving door. I go back and I see the same homeless within 3 days again. Same thing with the victims of domestic violence. What do we do with victims of domestic violence? I'll tell you what we do. We go to their home, we arrest the abuser, and then we leave. I can guarantee you can go back the next day and that lady or that man is still sitting there as a victim.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you do what you need to do to break the situation, domestic violence. And Tiffany, I want to get you a mic and ask you about what you know about the homeless community, because you've been there, you know the people, you've lived in the forest and under the bridge. You've been there as well, Freddie.
I have.
What do we do, and what is it? Why is this the responsibility of the sheriff's department? What can you do legally, non-legally? What are some of the resources? If our VA system or someone else doesn't step up, or some of these shelters don't step up to help the people who are victims of domestic violence, then where do they go? Then you're back in their home again.
Correct. So going back before, do you want to speak now or you want me to continue to go?
No, go ahead and continue.
Okay, so you have to, as a sheriff, you lead by example, right? So you reach out, you're the bigger person, you reach out to these members of the community and these organizations, and you bring them, or either you take a neutral place and you hold a meeting. And you say, I, as the sheriff of Palm Beach County, cannot do this by myself. I need you guys, all of us, to work together as partners. right? And I know this will work because they've already said this to me. They just never had anyone approach them with that idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Imagine
Now
a community that works together.
Can you imagine putting a plan that actually may work?
Yeah, because everybody wants to point fingers and nobody wants to,
True that.
use their money. And at the end of the day, it's taxpayers' money. It's not the sheriff's money. Every dime that runs that agency, which is over $600 million a year, is your money. It's the taxpayers' money. So, there's a lot of authority that comes by being with the sheriff, and you have to be very careful that you don't abuse that authority.
Right.
You have to, and again, I'm going to reiterate it again. Every decision you make, ladies and gentlemen, every single day must be based on what's best for the citizens of the county, not for you as a sheriff or your deputies. It doesn't work that way. If you're going down that road, you're failing.
Tiffany, let me ask you. You've been there.
Yes.
You work with the female homeless veterans, a lot of them. You've been through the VA system. You've told us before they've sent people out with sleeping bags and say,
I was on
Find a way.
45th in Congress for 5.5 years.
Wow.
Either under the bridge or in the woods across from JFK Medical Center. And the VA would send their outreach people to bring me sleeping bags and food into the woods. That's a female population that's demoted and not considered for benefit of transitional housing that exists for the men. So that's an ongoing issue. Not for me. I no longer have the outrage for that because I'm better in helping other female veterans. While that was happening, I had a 9-year claims process for my service-connected disability. So I'm mentally disabled, 100% service-connected as of October. So the whole time I went untreated. My mental illness was untreated, and I was homeless, and there was no help from the VA. In my interaction with West Palm Police Department, they're very supportive in the city of West Palm with the Lord's Place. I'm
Yes.
housed by the Lord's Place.
I'm familiar with it.
So the Lord's Place has housed me from December 7th of last year until October 12th of this year. And then October 12th, I executed a lease with the Lord's Place affordable housing program. And affordable housing is the upshot issue for our homeless. And then I think in parallel, the sealing up the cracks for the homeless so we don't have to call them homeless. I mean, that's a crisis term.
Absolutely.
So nobody wants, we shouldn't identify our community and social, our vulnerable population as homeless. It's a vulnerable population that's in crisis. And I think when we kind of disrupt the bystander effect of everybody saying, oh, I thought you were going to do that. Oh, I thought you were going to
Exactly.
do that. So we have people that are disimpassioned or mostly just perplexed. And so together as a community, we can make people passionate about that just simply through educating. So I would like to make a proposal, since we're going to be seeing a lot of female veterans coming to this community from a new horse ranch that's going in Ocala. It's a 3 to 9 month transitional, and we're the wraparound agency to come here to our community. Why don't we take our thriving transitioned population and have them engage in programming so that they can step foot and help in the landscape of our Palm Beach County community, which is extremely supportive of mental illness and a substance abuse. We are the pinnacle. We have a huge opportunity nationally to shine.
So the idea of the community working together would really works. But let me ask you this. So all of these new programs to put into place, there's X amount of taxpayer money.
Sure.
What's going to shift?
I have an easy answer for that.
Okay.
Okay. It's called LETF, Law Enforcement Trust Fund monies, right? Most organizations receive money through LETF. That's what the sheriff currently spreads around to the organizations that he believes that should receive the money. How he goes about that, I'm not going to speak for him. You need to ask him directly as to why this organization gets it and this organization does not.
Okay.
I can only speak about what I'm going to do if and when I'm the sheriff, God willing. That money is money that is seized through illegal activities, right? So if we arrest a drug dealer and he has money, that money is seized, it's put into this fund. And every year at the discretion of the sheriff that those monies are spent. It can be spent for equipment within the agency, but it can also be spent on programs such as Homeless Coalition or whatever case it may be.
SAMHSA.
Yes.
With a federal program that's already in place intact.
Right, but that's federal, so I'm only talking about what I can control as your sheriff. So I want to stick to that. By the way, before I forget, thank you for your service. I'm also a veteran, so I know and I really appreciate it. What branch did you serve in?
The United States Air Force captain.
Oh, wow, good job. I was in the Army.
Oh, yeah.
Outstanding.
The Army asked us one time to fall in, and we didn't know what they were talking about.
No, oh, well, of course. But I want to say thank you for your food, because anytime I wanted a really good meal, I go to an Air Force base and eat. So
Yes, indeed.
yes.
Maid
So-
service at,
so-
at training.
And
at
you're
officer
you're
training.
you're a perfect example of what can be done if we use our resources correctly. And I really
Absolutely.
applaud you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay.
So I need your help. I was trying to caveat, I was trying to describe West Palm Police Department.
Yes.
They have a dedicated officer, it was Officer Pinto in West Palm, directly with the Lord's Place as community officer. And then I think they've added to that.
Yes.
And then the Lord's Place just recently raised 11 million in capital for their expansion.
That's great.
And the mission funding comes in April.
Well,
But-
what changes between, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm thinking we're in City of Boca. You've got the Boca Raton Police, you've got the West Palm. What changes and where does it change become county versus your cities?
Well, here's a unique thing. As the sheriff, you are the chief law enforcement executive officer of the county. So you basically have authority over each and every city, not just county pockets and county area. All right? But respectfully, though, we allow, and by statute and by city codes, there is a police department that has a police chief, and he or she should have the right to run the department as they see fit. And that's the way it needs to continue, and that's the way it should be. But as the sheriff, though, you can offer help to these municipalities. You see what I'm saying? You can, you as Sheriff Diaz can talk to Chief Jones, let's just use that name, Chief Jones from West Palm, and say, what can I do to help you? We have more manpower, we have more resources, we have more money. How can we focus? Where can we focus it at? How are we going to bring this together, and let's work together as a team? Ladies and gentlemen, whether if you believe it or not, there's a lot of ego in law enforcement.
No, really?
And there's a lot of ego in powerful positions, right?
Yeah.
One thing you're going to learn real quick is Laurel Diaz doesn't have an ego. I've never had an ego, and I don't intend on having an ego. I believe that you lead by example. You do what's right. You do what's right in your heart. What the people need, and if you're genuine with them and you're honest with them, people will see that you're real, and that's all you need to do. To be honest with you.
Let's go to commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about your experience leading up to this race and why you for Diaz? Why Diaz for sheriff? Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
In the woods for 5 years. I caught the raccoons opening my jar of olives.
Grow your business. Using a simple keyword, drive customers right to you with just a click. Customers will receive your personalized digital business card within seconds with all your contact information in one place, including a gallery of photos, videos, and clear call to action that drives sales. Promote your products and services, or share a hot new listing with custom event pages and RSVP form, boosting qualified leads. Special offers and promotions are directly sent to your potential customers' phones with text campaigns, increasing foot traffic and creating a loyal following. Let MobiPop drive your marketing campaign. Focus on your business. Let MobiPop focus on growing it.
If you have a business you want to share, ideas you want to be heard, and events you want to be known, then amp them up on Amp It Up, our new online radio station. We want your voice to be heard, so spread the word on Amp It Up. Contact us at 866-224-5422 for more information. Let's amp it up.
What we're really excited about with this new part of the reef is to see what happens with the animals moving from one side to the other and what the growth will be from 10 years worth of mature corals and sponges and things, and what the movement will be onto the new reef.
And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. We're talking to Captain Diaz, running for Palm Beach County Sheriff. So many things going on, and you've touched on so many things, but let's just backtrack a little bit. Why you? Tell us about your experience, where you are, where you come from.
Okay. Real quickly here, real simple. I was born in Cuba. I arrived in Palm Beach County in 1970, and I basically grew up in Palm Beach County. I was 10 years old when I arrived in Palm Beach County. I've lived here ever since. I went to Lake Worth High School, graduated from Lake Worth High School. From there, I went in the U.S. Army, military police. I served my commitment time with the U.S. Army. I was then hired with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, where I spent the next almost 28 years working there. I worked everything from road patrol deputy all the way to command duty officer, which is captain in charge of the entire county operations division. So there's quite a bit of experience. But I don't think we have enough time on this show to talk about it, so please go on my website, diazforsheriff.com, and take a look at all my qualifications and experience. But in a brief moment here, I will tell you I was the commander of the Organized Crime Bureau, which included narcotics, gangs, vice, and drug interdiction. I also was the commander of the Criminal Investigations Division, which was responsible for homicides and sexual rapes on minors and adults, and elderly abuse cases. Furthermore, I was also the training commander, where I ran the training bureau for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office as well. I was in SWAT, as I mentioned earlier, with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and also with the U.S. Army. And my last stint with SWAT was the SWAT commander at the Highlands County Sheriff's Office, where I served for 2.5 years, till recently, where I decided to put my name in the hat to run for sheriff of Palm Beach County, so I had to resign and retire so that I can run this campaign full-time.
So you retired to become sheriff, to become
Yes,
sheriff?
sir. Yeah.
Really?
I couldn't do this work, and it's impossible.
Wow.
No, it takes too many hours.
You wanted to ask about gangs. Because
Yes.
that's something near and dear to your heart.
Yes, I want to talk a little bit about the gang situation in West Palm Beach, because we had another gentleman that came on here, and he was talking about stuff to do as well. How is the gang situation going? What's going on?
Wow, what a great question. So, all right, so let's put it real simple. I believe now it's been about, don't quote me on the date and time, but I would say it's about 2.5 months ago. Sheriff Brashaw held a press conference, and he had all the media from Palm Beach County there. It looked really sharp. And he declared basically war on gangs in Palm Beach County. Great strategy. I thought he sounded great. It was refreshing to see that we're going to get serious about gangs. And then one of the reporters in the room, actually, and you can go and Google it and find it and watch it for yourselves, one of the reporters asked, "Sheriff, why now?" And the sheriff took a couple of seconds there to try to figure out what the answer was going to be. And the answer was real simple. The answer from Sheriff Brashaw to the citizens of Palm Beach County was, well, if you remember, back in December, a gang member shot one of my dogs in at the Wellington Green Mall. And then just recently, a gang member shot one of my officers, one of my deputies, in the face. Both of those incidents are true and tragic. And that was it. That was the answer. Well, I had a huge problem with that. So what is the problem that I have with that? Being that I was also in charge of the gang division for many years in Palm Beach County. Gangs have been running rampant in Palm Beach County since the mid-1990s, really bad, and it really started in the 80s. So therefore, it's nothing new. So I'm looking at our sheriff on TV, and he says that now we're declaring war on gangs. So I said to the sheriff, myself, of course, I'm not there. So I say, why now? What have you done the last 15 years? You've been the sheriff for 15 years, so we wait till one of our dogs is shot at the mall, and we wait till one of our officers is shot in the face to declare war on gangs? Ladies and gentlemen, you're asleep at the wheel if you buy that. There's no way. There should have been war on gangs from day one. Gangs impact our entire way of life, not just when they shoot one of our officers or they shoot one of our dogs. They run havoc at our schools, and our neighborhoods, and our playground. It should have been from the get-go. So shame on you, Sheriff, for allowing 15 years to go by, and now in election year, you declare war on gangs.
So this was just an election blabble.
That's my opinion.
I hear
Think
you.
about it. I mean, you grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah,
Not,
I was.
not to stereotype anything, but you tell me all the time.
I was in the Ghetto Brothers. Yes.
You
I
know,
was
we
in a
know what
gang.
goes on in our community. We know what goes on in our school system. My kids grew up in the school system here in public school, great schools, but we know what's happening. And if we don't get to our youth, look who we've had on. We've had Jackson on, right, from Atlantic High School. You talk about a school that's totally, and these kids, they come out from it. The first time we met him, he said, I got to go to prom. I'm going to steal a pair of shoes.
He said it on the air. I said, take it easy. We'll buy you a pair of shoes.
He didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
He didn't.
because, and he was serving, and he's made scholarships, and he was Heisman winner through the high schools. Amazing. But to him, it was perfectly normal to steal a pair of shoes to go to prom, because he said all he knew from the beginning of time was everyone was selling drugs from when he was a little boy.
His whole family.
He didn't realize there was anything wrong with that, because that was his life.
That's
that
his
was,
environment.
That was normal to him, for he and his grandmother to eat.
Yeah,
He sold drugs.
sometimes you don't join a gang because you want to. Sometimes you have to. That's just the way
Right.
it is. You grow up, and there it is. And,
Right.
and you got to do what you got to do
But maybe
just
it's,
stay
it's
alive.
re-education, right? So it's working, as you say, with the communities and the schools to re-educate what Ted Hodgkinson is doing in our school systems, to give positive reinforcement. There's a lot to do.
Well, there's a plan in place for that already. Again, you need to go on my site and see it. There's an entire plan just for gangs in Palm Beach County, what we're going to do with our school systems. Everybody knows about the DARE program, right? Most of our children have gone and attended that program. It's been around for over 30 years now.
It didn't work.
Right, and that's an opinion, but you're right.
Opinion. It's an opinion. It's actual mathematical fact.
Okay, well, I'm not here to debate that. I'm just here to say that we've had the DARE program in place for many years, right? Show me a program that we have in Palm Beach County for gang awareness.
I have no idea.
Show it to me, because there isn't one.
Okay, that's easy then.
I know because I called the school board police department and I asked one of their top rank officers, what program do we have in place to educate our children about gang awareness? None.
Now, why is that?
I don't know. We have to ask Sheriff Bradshaw about that. Now, I asked the school board, why haven't you done it? We don't know. So everybody tells me I don't know, right? But again, put your egos aside, work with the school board, right? Work with the school board police, work with the sheriff's office, and develop programs. We have the manpower to teach this at the schools. But it has to be approved by our legislative branch, and it has to be approved through school board, right? So
And
the
it has
kids
to
can
be
get credit.
funded, right?
And it has to be funded, right? And I'm sure we can find the money to get that funded.
Well, I got a question, because gangs in the day used to be about turf. You
Yes.
know, you had a block and you wanted to keep
Right.
it, and you used to go rumble
Right.
for a turf. It isn't about turf
No.
no more. This is big business now.
It's big business, and a lot of it is just most of the violence that you see in gang is retaliation for one gang stealing from another. It's not so much geographical area. And you're right, that's the way it started, but it's no longer that way.
Is it still in the drug trade? And
Drugs still very heavily involved.
Vice and all that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
because the game
gun
has changed.
Gun trafficking is very heavy. Also, it happens all the time. Gangs are heavily involved in that. They steal. They commit burglaries for guns. They buy them legally or illegally. Either way, guns are always involved within your gang.
But,
culture.
but Captain Diaz, could that be a reason why nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room? Because it's dangerous work. I mean, you were in
Sure.
SWAT. I understand. You understand what going into a hot zone is all about. I get it. because everybody's running this way and you're the only one running that way. I get it. People's mentality is it doesn't work because they don't understand the psychology behind it.
Right.
And my question here is really simple. It's a dangerous game. Maybe that's why nobody wants to talk about the problem that we have.
Right. It is a dangerous game. Very few people can do it. Whether or not it works or not, this young man just said it's statistical proven data behind it. I'm not here to debate that.
Could be frustration.
But what I can debate is the fact that many children have been saved because of DARE. I can't say that DARE has eradicated drugs or drug use or abuse by children, but I can surely tell you that it has saved many kids' lives. So let's keep that in perspective also. So we have to do something. Just saying that it doesn't work or saying that we're going to give up, then it just makes it worse,
Can't do
right? That's
that.
the attitude that gets us nowhere.
I agree.
You got to think
I
outside the
agree.
box, and you got to keep pushing forward.
Make adjustments with the
Right.
program because at least you got something in
But
play.
there's so many things that come into play. We're talking gangs, we're talking guns,
Mhm.
and then the
And
guns
victims of
become
domestic violence.
become a whole political issue about guns and
Mhm.
everything that's going on now
Right.
because of the shootings in our schools and everyone and their amendment rights and right to bear arms and all of
Right.
that. It becomes muddied, but we have to protect our youth. At
Right.
the end of the day, we have to protect our kids in schools. We have to be able to go to the movies. We have to be able to feel like we can walk
Sure.
into a mall and know that we're safe. And that's not political. That's just
Those are
community.
facts.
That's just mankind.
That's right. You got to be able to go get gas in a gas station, not having to worry about
Right.
getting shot at.
Especially with the active shooter situations that we're experiencing basically on a weekly basis just about now, which brings me to the next point was, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office currently has approximately, I want to say it's either 18 or 19 districts now, right? So each district is basically a large geographical area that is assigned a district number. So think about it in this terms. It's a small police department. So the Sheriff's Office is made up of 17, 18, 19 different smaller police departments, all working for the same sheriff, right?
Right.
We all wear the same uniform, same badge. Where I'm going with this is that each one of those, what did I want to say? I lost my train of thought. Each one of those districts have a conference room, right? Larger than this room. Again, let's provide education for not just the children. What about the parents? Shouldn't the parents be aware of what to look for in their kids, whether if it's gang issues, whether if it's narcotic issue, whether if it's prostitution issue, whether if it's an active shooter issue? Is your children's eating habit change? Is it the way he or she dresses change? Is it what he or she's looking on the internet change? And ladies and gentlemen, let me say something to you. Shame on you as a parent, and I say this with a simple, open heart. Shame on you as a parent if you allow your children to believe that they have privacy, expectation of privacy in your home. No, they don't. Shame on you. You're failing as a parent. There is no expectation of privacy in your home. Your home, your rules, your way. If your children have social media, you should, and it is your duty and your right to take a look at that social media and have those passwords and know what your kids are talking to, what they're talking about, and how they're talking about it. And again, if you're not doing it, then you're failing as a parent.
True that, because the bad guys, they're not going to ask. They're just
Right.
going to take. So
We
you got to
talk
be
about
smart
that all
about
the
it.
time. It's failure as
All the
parents,
time.
and you and I have this conversation.
All the time.
Well, I have firsthand experience with veterans. Veterans who have housing through a HUD program. It's common that a gang member will come in and take over their crib.
Absolutely.
They call it a crib.
Yes.
And so they really proliferate with guns. I've seen him hold a gun to a friend of mine in his apartment in 19th North in Dixie and Lake Worth.
Right.
There's a large gang there.
Very familiar with that area also. I know the county very, very well.
Yeah, and so that's the location, but it happens a lot with veterans who have a large compensation for a disability, and it's not uncommon that they are either approached for their meds, to purchase their meds, and that they may also commonly have a dual diagnosis of substance abuse, and they are vulnerable for a gang member to move in and take over their apartment. And they simply just know the system that once a month the VA will visit and then case manage, and so they will leave then and then return. And this person was like held at gunpoint to continue allowing the gang to use his apartment for
So why
operation.
doesn't this person reach out to the sheriff's department? It's what everybody's
Well,
going to write in here.
Really good question, and that leads me to ask: Can you pull all the CAD data, all the data of all the responses to every veteran that's in the HUD VASH program. If you can look at the stats of how many frequent calls you have to respond to, say, Tiffany Kennedy or so-and-so, and run the figures and look at the expense of dispatching that type of response for safety. Those are usually wellness. Hopefully they don't turn criminal, but
Right.
those are welfare checks.
But look at the diversity of this county, and I know we don't have a whole lot
Put a
of time.
cost to it.
You've got, our county is enormous. I know a lot of counties as well, but Palm Beach County, you go from the stereotype of Boca, and Boca is diverse, to up to Belglade. I mean,
Right.
you've got an enormous county with different needs. How can how can you oversee all of this and still work on gangs and work on our school systems?
And drugs and
everything,
everything
drugs.
else.
You need a huge task force.
If you look on the website,
look at everything.
you're gonna tell me,
well,
if you look
let's talk about what the website
I think that's-
is.
I
How
think
do
we're
people
gonna go on
find the
that.
website?
Well, I'll answer the question real quick. First of all, yes, it can be done and it can be managed. It's a very large agency with a lot of resources, and you just have to put the right commanders in the right location and give them focus and clear direction of what you expect from he or her to get done. So yes, it can be done, and I'm very familiar with the Western community. If you have me back, we'll talk about the Western community there, because that's a whole different animal. So we can discuss that at length. Find me, DiazForSheriff.com. Everything is there. And please help me financially. I need to raise money to run this campaign. It's very expensive.
I just have to say one thing.
Give her the mic.
When you were discussing about parents being aware, I was in elementary school and I was attacked. Did not know the person, but when I was walking home, they jumped out and I literally had scratches on my face from them. Went home, which wasn't far from the house. My sister was there, contacted my parents, my father, went to the doctor. Meantime, then my other parent went right to the principal. I gave a description, pulled that person out. They just moved into our small town in Jersey. That person then was sent for and was demanded, because the parents get involved, for psychiatric evaluation.
Okay.
That student was mandated, go.
Right.
You're taking your child, you're going to be checked. And as a parent, you're picking that child up, you're dropping that child off, and you're picking that child up. And you're going to be responsible for that child. And evidently, that child was relocated to a different school, but yet had to go through therapy.
Right.
It's parental responsibility, right?
is.
It's holding accountability.
So I'm glad you did that.
And really, the schools shouldn't have to be saying that to the parents, right? You as a parent should know better. If your child is acting this way, behaving this way, and committing these kinds of incidents, then you need to act as an adult who you are, and you're responsible for the life of that child, and get help for your children.
You mean parental accountability?
Yeah, pretty much.
How
Yeah.
about everyone accountability? I think that's a whole nother
I mean, I
topic.
scream at the top of my lungs, and I tell parents, I look in that camera and says, if you think you know your kids, you know you're missing the boat. You don't know your kids. And I have 2 boys. You don't know them. You think you know them. They show you what they want you to
Absolutely.
know. If you don't get hip to the game. Now, I was in auxiliary for, 6 years up in New York. And the psychology of being an auxiliary was to have, and I used to be called every name in the book, but they used to put us up in the Heights, which you know is the cocaine capital of the world.
Yes.
And it was scary because we had no guns. We only had nightsticks and a radio, and we were the eyes of the police. Now, when I called the 1013, they came like this.
Right.
It was, and it worked. The only problem is, I don't even know if they still do the program. I don't even know. I haven't kept in touch
I
with
know
them.
here we don't do that.
And I know you don't do that here because...
Here we have citizens on patrol as far as we go with it.
Really?
Yeah, that's.
Do they
the
dress
only-
up that look like police, like sheriffs?
No, it's a little bit different, but the cars look just like it. And they're just smaller in size. And it
I know,
says-
there's a
yeah,
community
it's
thing on the
yeah,
side. But it says community on it.
Citizens on patrol.
Yeah, well, you got to take that off.
Community is community service aid. That's a different
You
thing.
got to take the citizen on patrol out because it's funny, you know. Why is it? I always say this. Why is it? I can always find a criminal, but I can't find a cop.
I hear you.
I got to tell you, where we sit right here, there's a fueling station for the city of Boca Raton. So if you ever need one, just come hang out with us.
Or you can go over there and get
all day
one.
long. They just keep passing you,
I
filling
go,
up their
yeah.
cars.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm going to make a donut. Not a donut. That's a bad example. A coffee stop for the
should.
cops when they come by. They can have some coffee on us.
Put a stand on the outside like a lemonade
I
stand.
did it in Puerto Rico. I'll do it here as
You're
well.
in?
Yeah, we'll put a sign. If you're a sheriff or a cop, I don't know what they call them. I know them as cops. You come
Cops
on
is
down.
fine, and people think that's a derogatory term. It's not.
It's
Cops
okay.
is
Yeah,
fine,
cop, come on and have a cup of coffee in the cafe. I would love to do that. I mean, it's about getting involved, and I'm not being a tough guy, but the bottom line here is when something happens, everybody's running in that direction. Only one person is going to go in that direction, right? And that's
Right.
usually a cop.
We need to talk some more about that because that's a whole other topic. This disconnection with the public is a whole other. I'll need an hour for that.
No, I want to bring you back. I want to talk about guns in school. I want to talk about all sorts of
Enriching the
subjects.
community, because you know what? When you go to vote, and because now it's partisan, and you have to go through the primaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make an educated decision. Just don't check what you think because you see a name or you don't see a name, or leave it blank.
Right.
Make an educated decision. Go to diazforsheriff.com. Read your platform, read some of the things, get involved, get educated, share it with your kids. And you know what? It's about accountability. It's our community.
Right.
Get involved. We should know as much about our community as you think you know about the nation.
And you can follow up on that by simply saying that the great thing is that on a general election, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, you can vote for anyone on that ticket. So people need to remember that just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you can't vote for me, or just because you're an Independent doesn't. That's true on a primary, but not on the general election.
Do you have a hub, like an office?
Yes, my campaign director has that address on that.
I wanna. Sorry, I got it. Leave it there. I want to go.
agree
I want to
about
go up
making the
there.
educated a guess.
I want to go up there and maybe take some film and maybe have you take a couple of. Yeah, I'm gonna use some of these. Take some pictures and stuff up there, because I love the aspect again, Latino base. I
We
just
want to do
love
that a
it.
little bit faster.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It ain't gonna go past the
Coffee
floor.
and wires do? Not so much. Thank you so much
No,
for
thank
joining
you.
us. Diaz for Sheriff. Thank you, Brooke, for joining us. Captain, every day you're here, you bring more and more to our conversation. And of course, to Fernando and Hector, couldn't have done it without, gosh, all these Latino men on the set here today.
I know. And
They're
listen,
totally outnumbered.
and if you have any questions for Captain Diaz, I'm sure that he'll be more than happy.
Absolutely.
Or give us a call on the show, and we'll make sure that he gets the message, because this is a guy, again, very proud of the fact, Latino base, more power to you. But, your program sounds solid, and I'd like to have him come back and we could talk about different things.
Excellent, thank you. I would appreciate it.
561-365-0648. Get educated, get involved. It's about your community, your children, our families. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place at our AMP2 TV studios in Boca Raton.
And don't be
Freddie
late and
picks up
don't
his
spill the coffee. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming, as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages, or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.